Last night, the president was honored to announce Judge Neil Gorsuch as his nominee to serve as the next justice of the Supreme Court. It was an unbelievably phenomenal evening. Immediately after being announced, Judge Gorsuch was honored to meet with Maureen and Father Scalia. As some of you have reported, his first call after coming back behind the podium was to Merrick Garland, who would also note has already come out to say that Judge Gorsuch deserves a fair hearing. In less than 24 hours, Judge Gorsuch has already received a widespread praise from across the political spectrum as an inspired choice with sterling academic credentials, a brilliant legal mind, and a steadfast commitment to constitutional principles. During his long career in public service, Judge Gorsuch has enjoyed bipartisan approval, having previously been confirmed by voice vote to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. In fact, 12 current Democratic senators, including Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senator Dianne Feinstein, Senator Leahy, were all in office when he was first confirmed without opposition in 2006. With as many as 8 Democrats, like Senators Blumenthal, Durbin, McCaskill, already supporting a full hearing and vote for Judge Gorsuch, there is no question that he is a widely respected jurist who deserves to have his nomination fairly decided upon by the United States Senate. Now that Judge Gorsuch has been officially named, I hope you all allow me to talk for a moment about how exceptionally qualified he is to succeed the late, great Anton Scalia. Judge Gorsuch's academic record is impeccable, and as he said last night, the president holds education in the highest regard. Judge Gorsuch graduated Phi Kappa Beta from Columbia, graduated cum laude from Harvard Law School, and attended Oxford as a recipient of the prestigious Marshall Scholarship. Like Justice Scalia, the cornerstone of Judge Gorsuch's judicial philosophy is fidelity to the text. He believes that judges should not base their decisions solely on the law and the Constitution. He believes, sorry, I almost screwed that one up, that his decisions should be based solely on the law and the Constitution, not on their own policy preferences or personal feelings. He will be a reliable and principled voice on the bench, preserving equal justice under the law, regardless of background. And I would note, I'm going to caveat this, but to my understanding, I think he would be the first justice that will serve as someone he clerked for on the bench. So it'll be a sort of a first when he is confirmed by the Senate. Now on to the issues of the day. Today is February 1st, which means we are kicking off Black History Month. The president has events planned throughout the month, starting today with a listening session that occurred early this morning with African-American leaders in the Roosevelt Room. The meeting also included some of the administration's African-American appointees. Later today, the president will issue a proclamation. The U.S. Postal Service kicked off the month by issuing the Dorothy Height Forever Stamp, the 40th stamp in their Black Heritage Series. Dr. Height led the National Council of Negro Women for 4 decades and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Bill Clinton in 1994 and the Congressional Medal of Freedom by President George W. Bush in 1994 and 2004. President Obama delivered her eulogy in 2010, and President Trump is now proud that the post office is honoring her incredible legacy as a civil rights icon. At events throughout this entire month, we'll celebrate the contributions of courageous African-American leaders from Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass to Martin Luther King Jr. and Clarence Thomas. African-American history is American history, and this month is a great reminder of that. Continuing with today's schedule, the Vice President went to the Hill with Judge Gorsuch to meet with lawmakers for the first time since being named last night. On the Hill, the Vice President met with Majority Leader McConnell, and the staff spearheading Judge Gorsuch's nomination will also meet with Senators Cornyn, Grassley, Hatch, and Gardner. With Judge Gorsuch on Capitol Hill, I think it's a good time to talk about the confirmation process. Neither of the 2 Supreme Court justices that President Obama nominated were subject to the 60-vote threshold of the Senate filibuster. They received bipartisan support because Republicans, despite some political and philosophical differences, viewed them as mainstream and qualified, and Judge Gorsuch should receive the same fair treatment. Also this morning, the president met in the Roosevelt Room with representatives of outside groups to discuss Judge Gorsuch's nomination, including David Osteen of the National Right to Life, Paula White of the New Destiny Christian Center, Wayne LaPierre of the National Rifle Association, Penny Nance of Concerned Women of America, Charmaine Yost of American Values, Juanita Dugan of the National Federation of Independent Businesses, Tom Collimore of the United States Chamber of Commerce, Grover Norquist of Americans for Tax Reform, Leonard Leo of the Federalist Society, Marjorie Dansfelter of the Susan B. Anthony List, and Morton Blackwell of the Leadership Institute. President Trump told the group that his decision on the Supreme Court is among the most important decisions he will ever make as president. He praised Judge Gorsuch for his academic and professional achievements and his lifelong devotion to the law. The attendees thanked the president for making such an inspired choice and for delivering what was, for many of them, their number one issue in the campaign. They committed vocally to supporting Judge Gorsuch throughout the confirmation process and expressed their desire for the Senate to move swiftly to give him a fair hearing and vote. The meeting closed with the president inviting the group in the Oval Office, which several attendees really enjoyed that honor. The president then had lunch with Secretary of State designate Tillerson. Mr. Tillerson's tenacity, broad experience, and deep understanding of the geopolitics are going to make him an outstanding chief diplomat for the United States, and the president is looking forward to the full vote of the Senate on his nomination.